Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from our comfy couch here in the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for August 7th, 2022, which host Big 2448 and wrap it up. Salon.
Hello.
It's more Ace Attorney. I'm not hearing very much excitement for these 4 episodes.
It's not so much that, it's a case of, yeah, I've apparently watched way more.
At least of the first game so far, because this is still all the first game. Yeah, it's 5 through 8 this week. But first, did you get to check out Revice for the week?
Yes.
How do you feel about Juga?
I don't know how I want to feel about it. Because it looks like generic bad guy. So,
well, I realized today when I was watching the episode that it's the Barrett Rex suit with the Chimera Diamond armor. Well, specifically the Diamond armor on top.
The bad guy suit.
Pretty much.
Because all just bad guys hash of what we've already had.
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, do I feel the same about Revice as I do Wizard? Because it's getting there at times.
I think we're there.
It keeps sliding that direction more and more on my tier list. I'm like, you're going to become the new guard of my favorites alongside Wizard and Akito at this rate. But have you gotten to check out Fudo PI at all?
Not yet. Kind of gonna watch them both together.
Well, we finally got the transformation in the second episode. And we got the opening, which it is not as, I don't want to say upbeat, but it doesn't feel like an opening. At least, not the full opening. It sounds like an instrumental version of the opening, but there are lyrics. But otherwise, Futopia has been good. Although it does look like we are taking things very slow when it comes to the manga, because we are only on chapter 5, 2 episodes in of this monthly manga. So don't expect a whole lot to happen within 12 episodes. We're probably going to get, I think, 4 of their arcs, and none of them are going to have Fang Trigger or Fang Metal, because Fang Trigger is 68 chapters in, and Fang Metal is somewhere beyond that. I think it's in the hundreds. So, like, those aren't happening unless they decide to early debut them for merchandise reasons.
Which they might.
I mean, it'd be nice because then we would get to see those in motion.
True.
But yeah, shall we get to Ace Attorney then?
Guess so.
Alright, it is 5 through 8 this week, folks. It is Turnabout Samurai and the first part of Turnabout Goodbyes. And we kick off with episode 5, Turnabout Samurai, First Trial. So, speaking of Tokusatsu, we get a little sneak peek of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo Toku Show. Before we head back to the office to see that Maya was the one watching it because she's a big fan of it, but Phoenix doesn't see the appeal of it, even though he is a Toku fan himself of an older show, specifically Signal Samurai from his youth, because he still carries the little keychain. They're also short on clients because I guess nobody wants to hire Phoenix as their lawyer.
At least not right now.
Yep. Next day, we find out that the guy portraying the bad guy of Steel Samurai, Jack Hammer, aka Takeshi Ibukuro, was murdered. And the Steel Samurai actor, Will Powers, aka Saburo Niboshi, was arrested for the murder. And Maya calls Phoenix going, "This is our case now. We're going to go get Steel Samurai off for murder and prove him innocent." So they go to the detention center and talk to Will. Maya's intimidated by him and thinks he just did it because he is big, burly, hairy man. But he is soft teddy bear and also incredibly dumb because he also does the bow directly into the glass. Except I don't think it hurts him as much.
Nope.
We do find out that while the murder was happening, or Will had a lunch, took a nap afterwards, woke up, found Jack dead because the crew found him, and the Steel Samurai's weapon was jammed into Jack. Therefore, people thought it was Will, so that's why he was arrested. I'm also going to point out that just now, they remove a plot point from this case. Will was drugged. His lunch was actually drugged, and they removed that plot point for some reason, because I remember that.
Because you can't drug people. Anime.
Probably.
I feel like that's that excuse. I thought there was something else that didn't seem right, but I was like, well, this works, so I'm fine with it.
I think they just dropped it because it's just an extra thing for them to find out and go like, that seems suspicious.
Like, I feel like the only thing that might have threw more suspicion would have been knowing that, and it only really would have done it by ever so, because the ball gets rolling regardless.
Yeah. So finding this out, they decide to head to the studio to investigate, and then we meet
Old Bag.
The Wendy Old Bag, aka Karu Oba, who God damn it.
I love that they left the old hag joke in there.
Yep. Old Bag is certainly a character that is going to keep popping up and also keep hitting on Miles Edgeworth for some goddamn reason, and I don't understand why. But yeah, she likes to run her mouth about stuff. But Gumshoe drops by, and both Phoenix and Maya get his name wrong because they call him Suede Shoes, and I think they call him Gumshoot something. I forget the second one.
I know one of the times it was Gum Feet.
Okay, because the first one I think from Maya was Suede Shoes.
I think so.
But yeah, they break her train of thought. He gives them the breakdown of what happened on the day. Pretty much everybody was in, was it Studio 1? Will was in his trailer. They all found him there. Oh no, Will has no alibi. Then random kid shows up and evades capture because he just keeps breaking into the lot to take pictures of Steel Samurai and runs away. He does drop his book of pictures for Maya to pick up for later. Once we wrap up investigation, we head to court. Edgeworth is on prosecution once more. Phoenix and Maya are here on defense with... Is Maya legally allowed to be on the bench for the defense? She's not a defense attorney.
I mean, that is an extremely good question. But part of me is also like, I don't care. Because it helps.
Yeah. I'm also going to point out that they did a shot of the courtroom. You can clearly see that Will is sitting in the defense chair. But the next scene they cut to, Will is entering the courtroom. Meaning they forgot to remove Will before they decided that he was going to enter the courtroom after that scene. Oops.
It's a quick flash. No one will ever notice it.
Yeah. Like before, Edgeworth and Gumshoe deliver the basics on the case. Wendy as witness confirming that Will passed her by to go to the studio lot where Jack was murdered. And they have photographic proof. And they show that photographic proof. And it's the steel samurai costume passing by the camera.
Because that's photographic proof.
And Phoenix rightfully points out, what part of this is fucking Will Powers? I'd abandon... Bullshit! But then they're like, oh, Will got injured and stuff. Therefore, look, he's limping. He must be limping. You can tell in this still image. Also, the spear was broken, which will be a plot point later. As Wendy's continuing her testimony, she does let slip that there were other people at the scene unaccounted for, but she ends up brushing it off.
Yeah, and no one calls her out on that.
Yeah.
I'm a little aggravated on that one.
I'm trying to remember if she does that in the game, or it takes her breaking for her to reveal that fact.
I don't remember right offhand.
Mm-hmm.
I have to feel like it might also do that in the game. And I only say that because it does absolutely nothing to the episode if that was took out.
Yeah.
So I almost have to feel like that was one of those moments of, we copied game too good.
This show seems to do that a lot, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But Phoenix tried to poke some holes in her testimony. Nothing works, especially since apparently the spear weighs 15 fucking kilos, which, why does a prop spear weigh 15 goddamn kilos?
I mean, heavy's gotta be heavy.
It's a prop spear! Like a legitimate prop spear. That should not be a real spear that they are swinging around and shit.
I mean, but that takes all the fun out of it.
Anywho.
I hate that I feel like that's exactly...
Probably. So, pushed to the corner, Phoenix pulls the desperation card and goes, Wendy must have did it, because she has no alibi as well, and pointing fingers at Will means she's sus. Therefore, can I have an extra day to investigate? Thankfully, Wendy breaks at this and pretty much goes, yeah, there's more people at the scene. They told me to keep it secret. What you gonna do about it? And this new info pushes the trial to day 2. Which takes us to episode 6, Turnabout Samurai Second Trial. We head back to the lot to investigate. After we talk to Will, he also mentions the kid, because he's met the kid before, and it's just like, I don't want to disappoint the kid, or any kid, really, because, I'm supposed to be a big hero and stuff. And then... I forgot about this character until I watched the episode again, and I'm like, God damn it, right, fuck. We meet Salmonella, aka Takia Uzai, who talks in Leet speak. Now, before anyone complains about that, that is accurate to the original game, because he also talks in Leet speak in the fucking video game. It is the worst fucking thing in the Phoenix Wright games. I hate it, and I want to move on.
Well, that is kind of like how Salmonella is hated and just want to move on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well played.
Mhm. But he gets inspired by Maya to do a new show. It's not important. We do find out about Dee Vasquez, Sakura Himigami, who's the producer, and she's very hands-on. They end up visiting the other studio where Dee Vasquez is. They find out about some accident that happened a few years ago. It's plot relevant in the next episode. Apparently, a windstorm took out the statue that's in the lot, and it blocked off Studio 2. So that's why no one is supposed to be relevant in that studio, because it was knocked out at like 2:14, and the crime happened at like 5. So like there's no
2:15, and I think the crime actually said to have happened at 2:30.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't get it clear till 5, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's out, supposedly.
Yeah, very convenient.
Yeah. The two of them end up leaving after this. They pass by Wendy. She berates the pair. But then they talk about some of Jack's older samurai movie stuff, and that wins her over until the kid shows up once more. And we find out that he is Cody Hawkins, a.k.a. Kyuta Otaki. They try to talk to him a little bit. He gets a bit sketchy about what he saw that day, because he saw something, but he doesn't want to talk about it, and then he bails. And Phoenix gets stuck in the storm drain, and Maya, I feel like, purposely pushes him in further into the storm drain instead of pulling him out, because that is their relationship.
Not like she would ever do such a totally did. I can't even finish that one.
Look, this is their relationship. But that night, Maya calls for a marathon of Steel Samurai for research purposes. She ends up passing out in this marathon at some point that goes all night, but Phoenix stays up through it all, and he's like, I get it! I get the appeal of Steel Samurai, as I am on no sleep and probably 4 cups of coffee at this point.
I feel like 4 would be generous.
But yeah, this gets Phoenix an idea of how to lure Cody out. So him and Maya stage a scene from the show that gets him to come out. They talk for a bit, and we find out that the guy in the Steel Samurai costume passed Cody, and he called out to him. And the guy in the costume did the bad guy's pose from the show, not the Steel Samurai's pose, meaning it was Jack in the costume, not Will. And he also gives them a photo showing the Steel Samurai going to the other lot at the time of the murder, and not the first lot. Also, Wendy overhears all of this because she's going to be important later. Phoenix and Maya, for some stupid fucking reason, decide to confront Dee Vasquez with all of this information, and she brushes it off and is almost ready to murder the both of them with her goons until Gumshoe shows up with her summons, and she's like, fine, I will see you in court. And thus, that is the end of the episode. So we now get our second trial day with episode 7, Turnabout Samurai, Last Trial. Court is in session. We do see both Cody and Wendy in the gallery, which I believe this episode, the gallery is 2D animated. Where in the previous episodes, they were 3D animated. For some reason. Right. I remembered seeing that and I forgot to mention it, and I was like, right, they 3D animated the gallery for some reason. Out of everything to 3D animate in the show, it's the gallery of people who don't matter and probably don't need to move at all, so why are they 3D animated? Anywho, Dee is called to the stand to give her account of events before Phoenix gives his cross-examination. Phoenix busts out the photo, gives his version of events that he's figured out of, Jack went to that studio where you were at, you murdered him. and that's what went down. But Phoenix doesn't have all the pieces, so he's uncertain, and that gets his timeline riddled by both Dee and Miles. Especially since, the spear weighs 15 kilos. Dee Vasquez doesn't look like she lifts, so she probably can't actually kill somebody with that spear. Hell, Phoenix can't even lift that spear without easily. So we're down a murder weapon.
But you know what's really funny? Are we technically down a murder weapon because we already established the fact that it was broken, so she could have just stabbed him with a broken piece and then taped it?
That's true.
I love how that is one point that does not get brought up. And it's like we didn't rule the murder weapon out technically.
Mm-hmm. But it's all falling apart, but then Cody makes a scene and gets tossed out. But this lets Wendy go to Phoenix and Maya and gives them evidence that they need to establish Dee Vasquez's motive. And as it turns out, an accident several years ago involving a different actor where Jack might have killed him. I don't think they ever establish if he actually killed him or not, because it was an accident. But that whole thing got Jack under Dee's thumb. So it seems like Jack either went to Dee as the Steel Samurai to murder her or to do something else and dump it on Will.
Probably the murder.
Probably.
He probably really wanted to do the murder.
Mm-hmm. But as this is laid out, Miles brings up the timeline once more, but Phoenix goes, hey, they could have just murdered him and then moved the body later. But again, all conjecture, no proof. And it seems like she's going to get away, only for Miles to call for an objection that he doesn't know what he's objecting about until he can scramble and tell her to testify about finding the body, because Miles is on Phoenix's side for this case. We'll find out later. Surprise!
I feel like he wasn't fully on Phoenix's side until it actually started making sense to him, and then he's like, oh, crap.
I think it's more of a case of who the defendant is that made him decide, you know what, he didn't do it. I'm going to help this time. But yeah, Dee gives testimony about that. Phoenix is up for cross-examination again, trying to find any way to break her. She finally slips about the rehearsal, saying that she, wasn't delivered the script for a rehearsal, which is suspicious. And Miles is the one to object about it, not Phoenix, again, because Miles is just like, you're going down and I'm going to fucking do Phoenix's job for him on this case. I love even the judge is just like, Miles, you're the prosecution, not the defense. Why are you objecting? And Miles is just like, I do what I want, damn it. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But they try to tag team her once more. She ends up slipping about Hammer being injured, which is wrong because Will was injured. And that finally breaks her, and the two of them just pull the confession out of her. Will ends up getting a not guilty verdict. Day is saved. Will is thankful at the case. And even Miles congrats the two of them on the victory. And as we see later, Miles is a fan of the Steel Samurai show, if you didn't notice the humongous Steel Samurai statue in his fucking office. I think that's the only reason he helped Phoenix, is because, he didn't actually commit the murder. I'm doing it for him, not for you. But that ends Turnabout Samurais. How'd you feel about this case?
I feel like it is honestly the perfect thing going into what the next.
Yeah.
In all seriousness. And I know that's really more giving the game credit than anything, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels weird because I was thinking about this other day. I'm just like, the third game has all the cases connected, right? And then I had to rethink about that. I'm like, wait, no. The second case, or not the second case. The third case is disconnected. And I think all the third cases end up being disconnected from the main plot of the games. I think. I swear there's one Phoenix Wright game where the third case is connected, so therefore all the cases are connected to the main plot. But I don't remember which one. But while it's not plot relevant, it is character relevant because it shows that Miles is not a complete asshole. Which is important because of what happens next episode.
Yep.
Shall we talk about that then?
Yes, we shall.
All right, episode 8, folks. Turnabout Goodbyes, first trial. Out on a lake. In the middle of it, two people are standing on the boat. One of them gets shot and falls into the lake and is murdered. The other person picks up the gun, and we see that it is Miles Edgeworth. Oh no. We got the Phoenix having a nightmare about him being accused of being a thief as a kid, even though he's innocent. And as he wakes up, we find out it's Christmas. That's plot relevant, folks. If you know the meme, you know what's going to happen. If not, strap in. This case is fun.
I remember parts of this one, but I can't think of it, though.
Trust me, all of the fun stuff is at the end of this case. Because it is just one thing after another of like, this is not in any way, shape, or form how the legal system would absolutely work at all. But this is fun as hell. Because the entire point of the Ace Attorney games is, while it is a parody of the legal system, it is all about that thrill of when you dunk the person personally responsible in jail in the toilet. That is what the games are about, and that's what makes them fun. So remember, it is currently Christmas, so it was Christmas Eve for the murder. But Phoenix finds Maya in the kitchen doing some waterfall training thing with a garden hose and a little inflatable pool. I love how Phoenix just accepts that this is happening, and he's just like, well, that's happening. If you want better water, go ask the fire department to, like, hit you with the hose or something. I don't know. It's too early, and I don't have coffee yet. I'm not dealing with this. But news breaks later as about the murder on Gordy's Lake. And that is when the pair find out that Miles was arrested for the murder. Also, for those that know the second game, the ad in the newspaper is a ad for the magician from Turnabout Big Top. You know, the worst case in the original Phoenix Wright trilogy. Like, I'm sorry, I kind of have to agree with that it is the worst case of the original trilogy, because it's kind of bad. And how just forever it takes. But they head down to the detention center. They ask him about the case. He doesn't want to talk about it. They ask to be his defense. He refuses. And he doesn't even say whether he actually committed the murder or not. He's just like, Phoenix, don't get involved. Bye. So the two of them decide to investigate anyway because, well,
Phoenix
Miles
is stubborn.
Yep. And so is Miles. So they go there, try to find evidence. They run into Gumshoe, who's just like, you're working on this defense, right? Well, here's everything. I'm helping you because I'm terrible at my job. I should not be helping you, but I always do.
Well, I mean, this
Gumshoe.
time Gumshoe's literally the only one that wants to try to clear Miles. So,
Yeah.
I mean, of course he's going to help.
Mm-hmm. But after talking to him, they end up running into Larry, who is being Santa Claus at the lake, running a food stand. He gives them a little like party popper thing for later. And this is when Maya finds out that both Miles, Phoenix, and Larry all know each other because they went to school each other back in the day. They were all fans of Signal Samurai, if you couldn't tell from the fact that they are color-coded.
Also, I love the fact that we wait till now, even though we have literally had a character questioning this, to decide to do this.
I think that's a holdover from the games because it's not till this case where all that stuff is brought up.
It's like that it feels like something that would have been a slightly better change kind of deal. But I also get why they left it.
Yeah, we gotta get Maya in the loop on this conversation. But we also find out that Miles' father was actually a defense attorney, not a prosecutor, and Phoenix becoming a defense attorney is why is him trying to figure out why Miles became a prosecutor. More on that later. They go to the boat rental place, no help there. Then Miles tells Phoenix about the not Nessie that is supposedly in the lake. And that's when they stumbled upon a photographer that has a sound-activated camera. Because they put the popper on it and it takes a bunch of pictures. Our photographer is Lotta Hart. For everyone's convenience, yes, she is Southern in the localization. She is incredibly Southern.
Yeah. Almost painfully.
Oh, yeah. Natsumi Osawagi is her Japanese name for reference. But yeah, she has photos from the night of the murder, but instead of showing them to Phoenix and Maya, she takes them to the cops, because of course she does. Thanks, Lotta. Thanks for being helpful. Two of them head back to Gumshoe for the autopsy report, and that's when Maya sees the picture of the victim and realizes, oh, I know this person. This person is Robert Hammond, aka Yukio Nakamura, and he was at Grossberg's office when Maya visited her mom, or not her mom, her sister. Her mom gets brought up later. So we go to Grossberg's office to find out the details, and we find out that Robert Hammond was the defense attorney on the DL6 incident. That incident was the case involving the death of Miles Edwards' dad in an elevator that was stuck. And Hammond apparently got the man responsible for it off. We also find out that man was pointed out to be the murderer by Maya's mom, Misty Faye, aka Maiko Ayasato, when she did a seance to contact Miles' dad from beyond the grave. And because the case went bad, because the defense found out about this whole situation, because Mr. Red White leaked the information, it broke everybody involved in the case. Misty Faye practically disappeared off the face of the earth after this case. Miles ended up getting brought in by Robert Hammond, or not by Robert Hammond, his father's rival, who was a prosecutor. Got taken care of by him. Robert Hammond kind of went low profile for a while. And it ended up affecting both Maya and I can't remember the name. May. Or Mia. That's also why Mia was working a case against Red White. So therefore, all of our cases are connected now, besides the third case, because that's kind of Ace Attorney normal. But case has been cold for 15 years. Remember that. It's going to be plot important as well. But Maya vows to see this case through, and she wants Miles to let them take the case because she wants him to see this case through as well. Going to the detention center, Miles finally caves when they get brought up all the DL6 incident and all that. He finally tells his into things where he was told that Hammond requested him to go to the lake. They went out on a boat. Miles tried to talk to him. Hammond got shot, fell in the lake. Miles picked up the gun without thinking because good job, Miles. You're a prosecutor. You should know better.
Well, he had to become part of the plot somehow.
Yeah. And he was arrested from there. Phoenix says he's going to repay his debt to Miles, but Miles doesn't remember it. But unfortunately, it's going to be a tall task because and I say this because the show says this, and the game says this, the god of prosecutors himself shall be taking the prosecution on this one, and that is Manfred von Karma, aka Go Karuma, aka the person that took in Miles and turned him into the person he is today.
Guess you could say that's a little bit of karma.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I regret nothing.
Don't worry, you'll be able to use that one again.
Oh.
But that is where we leave off for the week, folks. So how'd you feel about our first peek into the final case of the first game? Because, by the way, folks, Turnabout Goodbyes is the final case for the first game. At least originally. Rise from the Ashes was a bonus case for the DS games. Rise from the Ashes was never adapted for the anime because reasons? I have no idea why they didn't do Rise from the Ashes.
Reasons?
Yeah. Thus, this is going to be our final look at the first game before we then move on to the second game in terms of case material.
Very strong start of this case.
Yeah, Turnabout Goodbyes starts very strong and does not let up because, damn, do you want to see Phoenix struggle? This is the case because he's going to get put through the ringer, and he's going to get put through the ringer several more times, especially in finales. Because I can't even say that this is the most personal finale case for him. That's probably the third game's case. Or the second game. One of the two. Depends. But yeah, we're gonna go places real fast, and it's gonna be fun. But any other thoughts on that episode?
Huh?
All right, then. Next week, gonna put tentatively on that one for the moment.
Yeah.
Since I start work on Thursday. But next week, tentatively, we'll be picking this up and completing Turnabout Goodbyes, because the next 4 episodes are all Turnabout Goodbyes, since it is a 5-part arc. But between now and then Tuesday still?
Probably. I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to pull the trigger on like Friday kind of deal.
Okay.
Since that would work out better for you.
Yeah. I mean, right, this week it's honestly either or. Because I technically don't start till Thursday.
We'll go with Tuesday this week.
Okay.
We'll probably switch it going forward.
Mm-hmm. So, Tuesday, it is Star Citizen. Thursday, it is more Rider Chronicle, and I forgot what we're doing this week.
We're doing game.
We're doing games of some variety.
No, that does not help.
It is the Kamen Rider Blade game and Battle Baseball. Thankfully, I'm almost done with Rhino Chronicle. It is this week, next week, the week after, and then the finale of the All Riders Memory of Heroes run.
Oh, that one will be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to double check my save file, make sure everyone is leveled up, and I'm going to dump whatever accelerator would be good for everyone just on them, because save time. Let's not bother trying to swap accelerators. Let's just find a good one for everyone and just burn through it. But yeah, Rider Chronicle is finally coming to an end. And Saturday will be TGS. There's some Evo stuff that happened this week. A lot of it was games getting rollback netcode, but SNK announced a couple of things. And we might have had a Tekken announcement. I'm not entirely sure. It seems like we got a Tekken announcement. It's kind of being treated as a Tekken announcement, so sure. But it'll be that amongst other things. But if you like what you see, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away that affiliate goal at TGZone on Twitter. Gets you updates on live. Next special point to the score and chat. Gets those sort of things. Drop by, say hi. See you Tuesday, folks.